Good morning, guys. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the live stream. We are streaming on Facebook and on LinkedIn. I had a lot of new LinkedIn connections and followers. So if you're watching this for the first time, welcome to Thoughts of a Maven, which is our weekly live stream every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, where we talk about all things personal branding, positioning, LinkedIn, and confidence for the brilliant, ambitious Black woman. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys are here for the first time, I want you to use hashtag newbie down below in the comments. I want to hear from you. Okay, we're going to talk about something today that I think is a really big myth. And following this mindset gets a lot of us stuck, overlooked, missing out on opportunities. And that is this idea that, well, I'm good at what I do, so I don't really need to, work on my brand. I don't need to promote myself, talk about my wins. But I'm here to tell you guys that we have to have a real heart to heart about what it really takes to get noticed outside of just being good at what you do. Okay. So come on in. Let me know how your day is going, how your week is going. Okay. Let's be real, right? Competence, and I'm not saying being good at what you do doesn't work, but it only works for a hot minute, right? But that alone won't open doors. It won't land clients. It's not going to move you into a really prominent space, right? How you envision moving along in your career and in your business. Okay. So the people who are getting noticed for the opportunities, they aren't just the most capable, right? It's a level of positioning that has to take place, okay? And so that's what we're going to talk about today, right? Positioning answers this one simple and sometimes I'm going to say terrifyingly important question is why you, right? If someone asks you, why should I hire you for this position? Why should you get this promotion? You can't just say, I'm good at what I do, right? And for a lot of brilliant Black women and women of color, that question feels harder than it should be, right? And if you've been building your expertise, right? Maybe you're leading teams, creating results, and when someone asks you what sets you apart, the words just aren't flowing. Just know that that's actually common. I'm not going to say it's normal because I don't believe that should be normal, but it's definitely common. And that is where your opportunity is stalled. Okay. So we're going to talk about why being good at what you do just isn't enough and how that is showing up for you right now. Okay. So, guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about why being good at what you do just ain't gonna cut it. Okay. So, we are streaming on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And yeah, I want to hear from you guys. Do you struggle with that, with answering that question? Well, why you? Okay. That is a muscle that we all should be building. And so the first thing we need to realize is that you need to be a specialist and not a generalist, right? We have been taught to be a jack or Jill of all trades. We have taught to be broad and not specific. But just understand this, right? Being a generalist feels safe, right? It might prop the door open a little bit, but it's not going to kick the door down. Broad positioning means oftentimes that people don't know what to do with your talents because there's so many things that you can do. And so there's really not a specific need, right? You want to be able to, here's how if I could put an analogy to this, what you offer, whether you are an entrepreneur or whether you are climbing the corporate ladder, it should be the clear solution to a very clear, pointed, specific problem. But the issue, right, with generality is that it forces people to guess what it is you actually do, right? Who has time for that, right? I was recently, because, Threads is like my new, that's where I go and I just, we kiki over it on Threads, right? And I'm seeing posts from people who are like, "Oh, I don't want to niche down. Why do I have to niche down?" And niching down and being a specialist doesn't mean that you can't do the other things, but it is a way to really call out the people you were meant to serve and to really highlight a specific area of expertise that you offer, right? Specificity resonates, right? When you can name exactly who you serve, what you deliver, and the impact you produce, people are going to get it immediately. You're no longer good at a lot of things, right? We're all, let me just say this. Most of us are good at a lot of things, but you're just not known for the right thing. So you really have to sit with that, okay? Guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about specificity, right? And why being good at what you do just isn't enough. And the number one reason that or thing that I see is that people don't want to be a specialist. Think about it. Even in your if you think about your care, your health care, right? What you pay to go to your general physician or your family physician, your primary, is not the same as going to a specialist, right? Because there is value in specificity. And even if you are someone who has multiple passions, and I know what that's like, there's so many things I'm passionate about, guys. Even if you're passionate about multiple things, serving, again, it doesn't mean you're not going to serve other people, but what it does is it actually makes it easier for you to showcase all these other things and to maybe pivot down the road because you have cornered the market as a specialist. Okay. Number two, your brand is not future focused, right? You're positioned for or based on past roles and not future direction, right? So if I look at your LinkedIn profile, it talks about your past accomplishments. If scan your resume, it shows where you've been. But your materials, all of your brand assets, when you talk about your brand, it should be forward looking. When your positioning is stuck in yesterday, even your best work doesn't connect with where you want to go. So you should always show up for the opportunities that you want and for the position that you see yourself in the future, right? Because alignment between past experience and future impact is what makes people stop and pay attention and take action. And that is a really big gap, right? And it's okay to talk about your wins, right? But you also have to talk about how you see yourself or even begin to show up as your future self. Number three, you are so passive about how other people see you and your skills and your talents. You cannot assume that because I am just good at what I do, people will figure it out. We have to do the work for our audience, right? The hard truth is that they won't figure it out, not because they're incapable, but because they're busy. Right? You are and think about you. Think about the amount of information that you see, the amount of, processing and analyzing that you have to do. When you are clearly positioning your personal brand, you are removing the guesswork for your audience, right? Clear brand positioning communicates your value in a single glance. When someone reads your bio, when they hear your intro, when they see your work, they should immediately know that, wow, this is who this person serves, this is what they do, and this is why it matters. And hey, this is how it can help me or somebody that I know. Okay. Guys, good morning. Welcome to the live stream. We are talking about why being good at what you do just isn't enough, right? We cannot be passive when it comes to our personal brands. Okay. And so if you are really serious in 2026 about being proactive with your personal brand, I want to invite you to check out and join me for Maven Day. Maven Day is my 4-hour virtual brand lab for brilliant, ambitious women, and this is where I help you with the alignment piece of this. Right? Really getting clear on your brand, defining your value, your audience, who you're supposed to serve, and coming up with a strategy that connects your brand with the opportunities, that you were meant to step into. Okay. So make sure you head on over to workwithdion.com/Maven Day for details on that. Okay. Number 4, you are downplaying your brilliance. You are downplaying the very things that make you so different and unique from your competitors, right? There are things that come naturally to us. There are things that feel normal to you, right? Think about the years of experience, your expertise, your leadership that you exhibit under pressure. Those are the things that set you apart. And I've had people tell me, like, Dion, in moments of like high crisis, you are like grounded, right? It's not that you're passive, Dion, but I see that you show up and provide a level of stability and leadership and focus and calmness when other people are like panicking, right? When there's a fire to put out. So I want you to think about the problems that people come to you to solve, how people would describe you. Those are your differentiators, right? And especially if you're a high achieving, ambitious woman, it is easy to just minimize the things that come your strengths, the things that come naturally to you, right? Because again, we've been conditioned that that is boastful. But just know that the world needs your edge. They need the thing that makes you you, and no one else is going to talk about it for you. You have to be your own amplifier. And so when you are positioning your it factor, your secret sauce, the thing that makes you different, that's gonna help you have the language, right, to claim it confidently, unapologetically, and clearly, okay? And here's another big one, okay? Another reason why you just being good at what you do isn't cutting it. You are pivoting way too often, right? And again, that kinda ties into being a generalist, right? You have been maybe rewarded for adaptability, right? Maybe versatility is your superpower. You pivot, you solve, you excel in new challenges, but there is still no anchoring. Yes, it is important to be nimble and flexible and adaptable, but being too adaptable, it is going to actually blur your value because that's what's going to slide you back into that generalist kind of frame of mind, right? So being positioned with your brand, it doesn't box you in, but it really anchors your brilliance so that people know exactly where to find it and what they get. They know what they get when they work with you. Okay. So, guys, good morning. If you're joining us, we are talking about why just being good enough is not going to work for your brand in 2026. And if you're just joining us, you'll have to go back up to the top where we talk about the 5 reasons why. So, again, positioning your personal brand is what turns competence into opportunity. It is perfectly fine to be good at what you do, but the brand positioning helps you just level it up a little bit so this way people can see your expertise, right? They can trust your authority, and then that is how doors and opportunities are going to open. And so if you are not clear, right, on how to position your brilliance is going to get overlooked even when your results are there, right? Yes, having the receipts and the track record is great, but you have to be proactive about it. And so, if this is you, if you know you're ready to be proactive, I invite you to join me for Maven Day. Maven Day is a 4-hour virtual brand lab that I've specifically built for women who are ready to step fully into that space of owning and talking about their brilliance. Maybe you are searching for language, right, to talk about what it is that you do and why you're the obvious choice. Maybe you need some help with alignment, right? Who is it that you're supposed to serve? Maybe you're out here flailing around and just need a little bit of positioning that matches the level where you're already at, right? I am not about reinvention, right? I simply help my clients refine their brand, get clear so that your next season is going to find you instead of you chasing it or just, falling behind the curve. So, being good at what you do, that will always matter, but being clear about why you is that's what matters more, okay? So I want you to join me for this 4-hour brand lab, you're going to walk away with clarity around your professional goals, right? I know we've all stepped into 2026 with probably a vision board or some maybe you've written down some board up on a board somewhere in your office, some goals. But then you don't know what to do next, right? I'm going to help you get clear on those goals, define your unique value and the audience you serve best. And we're going to do all the fun stuff, right? Your elevator pitch, your brand strategy, your content pillars, and you're going to walk away with a clear roadmap for your brand, stronger positioning on platforms like LinkedIn, and just the confidence to show up as the thought leader you were meant to be. And you also get 30-day replay access so that way you can revisit the training at your own pace. But all of this you can find and lock in your spot at workwithdion.com/Maven Day. But listen, all of that brilliance means nothing if you're just sitting on it and not sharing it with the world, okay? So, of course, if you have questions, I want you to connect with me, especially to my LinkedIn followers. Feel free to send me a message, ask down below, go to workwithdion.com. But I will see you next Wednesday for Thoughts of a Maven because, again, there's a whole community of people who can't step into their next level because you're still sitting on yours, okay? So I will see you next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Take care.